Can a fascist United States of America become the strongest country in the world? In today's video, we're going to find out. First, when looking at my government screen, we're already on census suffrage. So if we want to become fascist, we're going to need to get a single party state. And the only way we can do that is by researching in society. Down here, political agitation. You see here, this unlocks a single party state and allows outlaw dissent. And yeah, basically keeps people nice and quiet for our fascist rule. People that usually endorse this are the landowners. Also, seeing as we're going fascist, it's likely that we're going to want interventionism or command economy anyway. So I'm going to keep it on interventionism and just use the extra investment pool money for like agriculture, plantations, ranches, manufacturing industries, and all of that. Command economy, I'm not sure whether that allows... Oh, it disables the... Yes, I forget, it disables the investment pool. Even though we're going fascist, this doesn't mean that we're not going to try to get our industry built up. So I'm going to do what I do at the beginning of every game, whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. I'm going to find an area where we've got logging camps, iron mines, coal, and obviously where we can build tooling workshops. So I'm going to start that. I'm going to start that, and I'm going to leave that. Then I'm going to build construction sectors in those areas, because construction sectors require tools, fabric, wood, and iron to build up in. I'm going to use this opportunity to try and conquer Texas. I know they're already at war with Mexico, but if we can conquer Texas before Mexico reconquers them, then we have less to take from Mexico. The war with Texas has just started, and yeah, we've got this. Like, come on. The US versus Texas, come on, man. There you go, we have conquered Texas. Yeah, let's go tenant farmers. I think I would probably still get commercialized agriculture when we are fascist. It's just tenant farmers gives the southern planters more political strength. Okay, but it still radicalizes the rural folk. And I'm not going to get this without a revolution. And again, this is a bad revolution, so I'm going to have to cancel that one. Yeah, there's not much I can change. I would like to go up to censorship, but you see, it's going to radicalize it. Oh, it's just the trade unions now. It was the intelligentsia before. Yeah, let's get censorship. And then the trade unionists, they can have a little revolt. I don't care. They're tiny in proportion. They're 0.3%. Yeah, that's nothing. So we can go censorship, and then that might help us. All I've been talking about is laws, and at the moment I want to just show you, I've been building up my industry, like my construction sector levels. That's why we're not making that's why we're not making as much money. I'd also like to maybe up my taxes so that we can build up a little bit more. Oh dear, never mind. We're going to keep that down just so that we have a strong enough government to keep that going. And then afterwards we'll move that up. Okay, so I'd love to get rid of these peasants. Because peasants, if we have a look over here, usually support the farmers group. And obviously if there's 7.81 million of them, and as they get more educated, they will become more annoying. So yeah, we've got to get rid of the peasants and probably switch them over to laborers, because they're supporting the petite bourgeois. I know this sounds extremely stupid, but at the moment I'm gonna up my law enforcement so that I get that extra 30% landowners' political strength, and I could decrease my education, because if you think, oh, I got another uprising. Right, if you think about it with the education, at the moment I have census suffrage. So just thinking about it logically, I don't know whether the game actually works like this, but if I educate less, then surely there'll be less rural folk, right? So if my education decreases, then that doesn't sound like a bad thing. Oh, actually, if I went to secret police, which is currently got 43% success chance, that would be a good one, because it reduces revolution progress speed and success 10% succession progress speed, which is really good, and radicalization of people. So I'm going to give that a go afterwards. Also, I promised it to the armed forces, so I should probably get onto it. There you go, our first law enacted. I forgot to mention that this also means that my suppression and my bolstering will do a whole lot more change to their strength. Right, we have 10 days until that happens, the education decreases, but we've just got law enforcements to plus 30% as well. I mean, to level 3 as well, which gives our southern planters plus 30%. Right, while I've got the time, I'm gonna just take, annex the Indian territory, because why not? I've had a look online and it turns out that also the petite bourgeois, when we research fascism, they are the most likely to sort of support fascism. That we need to make sure that the petite bourgeois also have more political strength. So the way we can do that is by enacting certain laws that allow us to have more of these people, so more shopkeepers and I guess more clerks. But to be totally honest with you, the petit bourgeois is like it's not as easy as getting more industrialists or getting more southern planters. Instead of focusing mainly on our laws, I'm going to focus now on the war of Mexico, and I want to manifest a destiny, and this will mean that we now have a claim on lots of the lands down here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to up taxes for a little bit, and this will decrease standard of living, but it's okay because I'd like to increase my amount of military. I have a petite bourgeois commander. His ideology already supports single party state, autocracy and oligarchy. He also supports outlanded dissent and secret police. So I've already got a guy for that. As long as he doesn't die within the next, I don't know, 20 years, we should be pretty good. All I want to do with him is I want to improve his military. Anywhere that has iron, I am building tool workshops. In my mind, if the iron is cheaper here, build the tools here, then export the tools, right? Or am I completely wrong? I don't care. I'm doing it this way. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm building tool workshops in any place with iron mines. And then obviously those tool workshops can be put with anything that requires tools. What requires tools? Oh my goodness. Furniture manufacturing. We always need furniture. Furniture needs tools, fabric, wood, and hardwood. Most of my states have logging camps. So that means... Oh, wrong one. That means that we're going to have the hardwood and the wood. And we just need fabric. And most of my states, I believe, this just goes away, have livestock ranches. So this seems like the right way of doing it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But oh well. I'm now 100% prioritizing my military growth. This is so that when I eventually go to war with Mexico, which I want to do pretty soon, because otherwise they'll build up as well, I have a stronger army. I can't lie, I've done this playthrough before, where I've done it with about this amount, and it hasn't gone too well. So I'd like to at least get up to, because they've got 17 conscripts, I'd like to at least get up to like 60 battalions for it to go well. They usually lose with a decent number of battalions. However, I just can't be bothered with losing today and just sort of want a nice game. Okay, I think it's time to go to war with Mexico. I would like to return all of these states to me. I'm going to start with them on defensive, and if this doesn't work, then I'll switch them to advance. But the whole point of having them on defensive is so that I can whittle down their strength before I push, because otherwise we will take loads of casualties and then they'll be able to regain the advantage. So at the moment I'm going to let them push on me and hopefully then push back when they've lost their people. Turns out they're not pushing at all. It's been like a couple weeks and they've done nothing. So I'm going to switch these guys back over to advance the front, and hopefully we can just push forward. This is going really well, actually. Okay, this is why you build up your army instead of having it at all 4 levels. My navy is always going to be superior to theirs because they don't bother putting any capital ships in. I'm pretty sure they don't have any at all. So that works for me. I'm happy with that. The war is going pretty well, actually. They've now reached 0 war support. So what we're waiting for is that to go under 0. And I'm pretty sure it will because we have one of our war goals already. And by the way, I'm just making sure that I keep my trade going over here with putting my fleet over here, and we win. We win every time. And over here, I'm just convoy raiding. We're in a little bit of debt, but that's just because we're at war and because we have some unrealized taxes. That's okay. I'm building one government admin building, and that should sort that out. If not, I'll upgrade one of them to this standardized filing system, which I want to do anyway, but I want to get my production of paper up a little bit. I've decided, tell me if I'm doing this wrong, by the way. I've decided that paper requires, what is it? Because it doesn't show you. Paper requires wood and sulfur. So in states that have sulfur, I'm building logging camps, sulfur mines, and paper mills. Because surely that means that in this region, the wood will be cheap, the sulfur will be cheap, and therefore the paper will be cheaper. Right, we're both at 0-0 now. So yeah, hopefully, well, we've taken their states. Hopefully they go under pretty soon, because I don't really want this elongating any longer. Finally, the petite bourgeois want to join the Democratic Party. We finally have the people where we want them. I'm going to have to stop suppressing the, what are they called, the farmers, for a bit, just so that I can get this government formed. Oh my god, this war is taking absolutely ages. Finally, Mexico's gone below 0. We're losing. They've brought back some level of army yeah. Oh, we're going to lose this. But, well, we could lose. I mean, we're losing the front line, but we're not going to lose any more because they have to get my capital or whatever they need. They need something. They need to return Texas, so they need to have Texas under their control. And they're not going to get that. And there you go. We finally have it done. The Frontier Wars. This is our destiny. Okay, I'd love to get Alaska. So I'm going to make an offer to Russia, but we can't do that until our relations with Russia are greater than or equal to 0. Russia, hopefully it's because our relations are too low, I think. So we'll get that done, and hopefully that means that we can get Alaska. Right, the Oregon Treaty. Oh, okay, this is good. Yes, Great Britain has agreed to our reasonable terms and has ceded control of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho to the United States of America. There you go. We can now make an offer to acquire? Why did I say it like that? Acquire Alaska. So, how much? Make the necessary arrangements. We will offer £3 million over the course of 1 year. We cannot afford such an expense right now. £3 million over 1 year. Yeah, that's going to cost a chunk, but that does give us these gold fields. Oh, yeah, okay, that's costing us a big chunk of additional expenses over a year. Oh dear. Okay, it's fine though. We can up our gold mines. I know I haven't been sort of stopping in that often, but I'm going to get colonial exploitation now because I want to colonize in Africa. I have an interest in these sort of places over here. We now have colonial exploitation, so I'm going to start by getting some colonies. I was looking at the wrong place. Start by establishing some colonies over here. I also want to see whether I can. Yeah, I am building up my colonial affairs to level 3. I know it's a pretty weird state to start building up our railway systems, but we are kind of running out of population that want to join our industry, so I need to switch over some of our production of logging camps over to rail transportation, because that removes 1,000 of our laborers and switches them over to another career choice, which would probably end up being in the railway system anyway. Let's have a look. That way we can't have a look. Let's have a look over here. How much does this require? It requires 3,000 laborers, so it's not a bad trade-off. One railway to get rid of. Yeah, actually, it would be like 3,000 people. So it's a sort of a one-to-one. Okay, you see here, we now have the industrialists in power, which means that we can enact the private health insurance. And I'm not sure if this will do a whole lot, but private health insurance will give us 10% plus petite bourgeois political strength. So I'm going to want to get that. I've got to the point now where I've run out of sort of the unemployed population. I know I have loads of peasants, but the peasants are peasanting and I can't be bothered with that. So I'm going to switch things to mechanized production methods. For example, mechanized looms. Even though it consumes more, it also produces more. And the extra consumption means that other industries also improve. So if I increase that, and I can't do automated bakeries yet, and I do say furniture, I can switch them to either rotary valve engines or water tube boilers. Rotary valve engines is the best one because obviously they're going to be producing more furniture and we require more coal. And my coal industry and my wood industry, do you know what they usually employ? laborers, and this gets rid of laborers. So what I'm doing is I'm moving the laborers down to a lower level. The laborers aren't going to be working in the industry as much, and instead they'll be working in the coal mines. Sounds awful, and it is. Okay, well, we've now unlocked steam trains, and this will mean that we need more mechanics within our railway. It also means that transportation prices are going to dip massively, but coal prices are going to increase massively. So that means we're going to need more coal, which is already a problem, coal, and we're going to need more steel. That's also already a problem because we don't have as much coal. So coal production is going to need to ramp up, probably iron as well, and I'm going to increase my steel mills in lots of these states. So this state here is actually Kentucky is actually one of my, not my favorite states in real life, just at the moment, because it's got everything that I need to build up this sort of age of America. It's got iron, it's got coal, it can make steel, it can make motor industries, it can make food. It does pretty much everything, and and eventually it will probably be able to support power plants. Whoops, I just switched over my, my construction sectors to steel frame buildings, and we have a rather huge shortage. So I'm going to switch it back to the iron frame buildings while we build up, because that just goes to show that we need, oh dear, okay. Now I've caused my steel mills to sort of plummet. Okay, we'll wait for everything to sort of stabilize before we do that, and we'll build up some glass works and make sure that, we're at the highest we can be. We need lead for glass works, so wherever we've got lead, I'm going to build up some glass works, and hopefully we don't get in too much of a deficit later on. Instead of switching them all at once, I'm going to just switch the Kentucky construction sectors over right now so that my economy can sort of slowly switch over. I obviously need loads of more explosives, and that will mean more fertilizers and sulfur, and I'm going to need more glass, which needs more sulfur. So we're going to have to boost everything coming out of sulfur all at once, unless we do it like this. So look, our sulfur mines, they're not going to be making too much money at the moment, but they shouldn't be like struggling anymore. Yeah, look, they're not struggling. They were struggling before, and we're going to need more fertilizers and more explosive factories to make sure that we don't go under. We had one of those I should have recorded it. We had one of those pop-ups about trade unionists forcing us to enact one of the laws or giving up, and to be totally honest, regulatory bodies isn't a bad one at this point. It does sort of it doesn't really destroy our economy. It's fine, it's not great, people don't like it apart from the trade unionists, but we might as well just keep it. Right, if I have a look at my research, yes, I understand that my weekly innovation is low. That's why I'm building loads of universities right now. But political agitation, it's going to take us 8 years at this point, and I don't know whether I should just do it or I should do everything on tier 3 and then do it, because then it will take 3 years, or under 3 years. Because if you do everything on the tier above, then there's a whole lot less cost for innovation. Look, at the moment, penalty for researching under technologies in earlier years, unresearched technologies in earlier years, is 26,000 versus the base cost. Okay, at the moment, I am sort of balancing my construction, so I'm using about half of it at all times, because if I use all of it, we go into debt, and obviously I don't want to be going into debt. So I am still expanding, but just not at the highest rates that I possibly can be. And I'm trying to focus on areas that already aren't industrialized, because like Kentucky over here, I've been working on that for a while, and it's one of my main producers of steel. Actually, we can check. Where is my main producer of steel on the production map? Yeah, Kentucky is my main producer of steel in the US. Obviously, Pennsylvania and New York have also got, and Virginia have also got quite high production, but Kentucky has the highest. I like to specialize things because I enjoy it more. I find that, look, having where there's iron, it makes sense to have a tool workshop here because they require steel. It's not a great example, but actually it is. It's a great example. I mean, because we've got iron here, we've got iron and coal here, so we can create steel, which is then used for tooling workshops, motor industries, even food uses iron. So I think it's a nice thing to do. Obviously, you're not going to be able to specialize it so that things that need tools, because not every state's got iron in it, but tools can be just sent around the country. There you go. We now have researched dynamite, and this is one of my favorite ones to describe, because dynamite has a genius, well, not a genius use, but it has a great use within our mine industry sort of things. Because when you use dynamite, it, instead of nitroglycerin, it does not cause these mortality of all these three professions. It also means that that means we get more coal and require more explosives, boosting 2 of our industries. Okay, we have now we've fully adjusted to our explosive factories. Maybe we could do with a little bit more of production for explosives, but I'd like to go one step further and go for gold mines. I'm not going to go iron mines just yet, because that's a large industry. I'm actually going to leave iron mines till last. Obviously coal was larger, but I reckon by the time that we get to iron mines, we would have been able to fully change everything up. So I'm going to switch over to dynamite and gold mines, and also the more gold we get, the more minting we can do. So if you have a look here, the more gold I get, the more minting, and the more minting is the more money, which means the more construction, which means the more industry, which means everything. So it's going really well, and I can't lie, I've been sort of slacking on my on my construction at the moment. That's just because I'm trying to focus on this election. We have won again as the Progressive Party, but this guy just won't die or leave or whatever. I just don't want him here anymore. He's 62 years old and he's a radical, which, yes, I know he supports universal suffrage, but that is the complete opposite of today's run. We want single party state, and at the moment we have no success chance. I'm now also increasing with my new budget, my construction sectors and my military. I want to be one of the largest, I want to have one of the largest militaries in the world, and at the moment I am 13th in the world. So obviously we can get there. We can get much stronger than other countries. We just finished researching feminism, which means we're now on political agitation, which is going to take 28 months, which is much better than the 4 years that it was before. So after that, I can't lie, I got no idea what I want to do after that. Maybe like mass propaganda, film, I don't know. Probably actually military, because once we become a fascist nation, I'm going to militarize as much as I possibly can. Industry is going to take a back foot. Well, not necessarily a back foot, but it's not going to be as important to me as my military strength. Oh my goodness, I'm so stupid. I was like, oh no, I can't build textile mills here. This would be a perfect spot, blah, 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 blah. I'll get to my point. I forgot about changing my production method to rotary valve engines and changing them all up. So I'm going to do that in some of my states that now don't have the population for this anymore, so that we can continue to expand our industry. Turns out I've done this in quite a lot of them already, but there's... Oh dear. Okay, maybe not all of them. Actually, I didn't even realize. Look at my textile mills. I haven't even got craftsman sewing built in because I haven't got any silk. Do I have any place that I can build that makes silk? When we get synthetic plants, I can make silk. I missed it. However, we have political agitation. So that means that we can now enact it if we have any support, and we don't. And do you know why that is? It's because of this guy. This Mr. Grant is being the most annoying guy I've ever known, because he just won't quit or die or anything. He's 68. People don't even like him. His popularity is -10. And I can't get rid of him. He's an historical character. I can't get rid of him. There's nothing I can really do about it, to be honest. But I'm waiting for the next election when maybe we'll get our first fascist party. I was just having a look online to see when this guy died in real life. And it turns out, I'm not an American, so don't shoot me down for this. It turns out, if this is wrong, but it turns out this guy was president, actually president. It says he served, I don't know whether it's the same guy, it might just be a coincidence, but served as the 18th president the United States from 1869 to 1877. As commanding general, Grant led the Union Army to victory in the American Civil War. Well, basically, I was trying to see whether what time he died and how long they think. Well, I think roughly he's got left, but he died at the age of 63, and my guy, I guess it's the same guy, died at the age. Well, he's still 70. So we've got no idea how long this guy's going to last for. I'm really hoping it's not that long. While in the middle of a Liberian war, we're about to overtake the 100 million GDP mark. We are there you go. We are third in the world of GDP. I think that's after China and Great Britain. Yeah, we're just above British Raj. We'll probably fluctuate, and we'll probably go above them and below them multiple times. But at the moment, GDP is looking good. We have oil discovered in Gabon. Okay. Rubber rush. Let's just, accept that. But I reckon we can overtake China. We can probably overtake Great Britain, but it's going to take us a couple more years than just like, I don't know, a year. Okay, I've had to bring in the, what they called Southern planters to enact single-party state. Single-party state. It's not going to radicalize everyone, but it's only got 8. Oh my god. Today is not a day for talking for me. It's only got 8% chance of success. Also, we have a new president. His name is Mr. Tanner, and he does not believe in fascism whatsoever. However, if we switch over, I expect we'll probably enjoy it. Maybe someone on the internet was lying about... Okay, I'm going to stop this now. Maybe people on the internet were lying about the petit bourgeois being the best for this job. But I don't really care. I knew at the beginning that we needed the Southern planters to not be marginalised, and this is where it comes into play. We can get someone from the Trade Unions Party to enact single-party state. I'm going to keep looking for other people that may want to enact it. Yep, here you go. This is not even better because it's like 3%. I want to get someone with a large... What's their clout? 6.6%. That's better than nothing. We could just do it. Yeah, I'm going to go for this guy here. Try and get an extra 6.6% for a single party state. And then we'll get some more clout success rates, supposedly. If I understand it correctly. I swear that's how... Yes, agitators work the way I think they do. There you go. We got plus 5%. That doesn't sound like loads, but that's much better than it could have been. Now that I've switched my urban centres over to covered markets, I'd also like to switch over to public trams. This does require a lot of mechanics. I think that's how you pronounce it. If you go back to last episodes, I couldn't remember how to say mechanics. What this will do is it will mean that we'll get more services and more transport. So the price of services and transport will be really cheap, and therefore my population, their standard of living will increase. Just so you know, at the moment, we're on extremely low taxes. So if you're like, oh, your money's really low, it's not. It's because I've intentionally put it low. I don't care that much about expanding right now. I'm just trying, and I know I'm not using that many construction sectors. I'm just trying to get fascism. my only goal for this video, and it's not going well. Oh, it's gonna work. Okay, it's gonna work. I've just had a debate and a couple other things that mean the success chance is now, it means that it's now at 46%. I'm gonna have another look, see if there's any more agitators that would like to... Oh, I can't invite any yet, can I? I've actually never gone to single party state before, because it's always too late game. I'm either communist already or I'm democratic already, so there's like no point. Obviously you guys haven't seen me play a communist run, that'll be coming soon. But anyway, off topic. What I was saying is that I've never got here before. It's just not viable. Unless it is viable, we'll see, because you never know. The 1900s might be my time to shine, and it might be my time to dominate the Americas. We'll see. Okay, place your guesses now. Which state do you think has the highest GDP in America? Write your answers in the comments right now. I'm going to give you 1 second. There you go. There's your second gone. Okay, the answers are in, hopefully, if you did it. And here is the answer. You might think it's California, but it's not. We have a GDP here of 7.95 million. You might think it's Texas, but only 4.79 million. Virginia maybe 7.12. But no, it's Kentucky. Because I spent a lot of the start of the game building up my coal and iron mines here, it has boosted the economy, and we have a high population of 2.32 million. Obviously other states have higher, but they don't have the access to coal and iron, which is why Kentucky was kind of the perfect area. We are on the final stage of enacting single-party state. I've just realised, and yes, I know it's a little late, but we could have done that exact same thing to Pennsylvania, because they have coal, iron mines, and obviously logging camps. So we could have done the exact same, really, but I just decided to focus on Kentucky because it was fun. And Pennsylvania is sort of started off more industrialized, so it probably would have been easier. Okay, we now have access to the new synthetic plants industry. So this will produce dye, and obviously we only have a couple like agricultural dye plantations that aren't getting employed, and this is because it's in Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Oh, no, wrong place. South Carolina. None of these places are actually producing me that much dye, and they're not very highly. Well, some of them are, but I'm not going to bother. I want to have the dye where I need it, and there you go. We have single-party state. Look at our new flag. Look at everything. It is what we wanted it to be. Right, everyone got kicked out apart from the industrialists. Right, we can now also enact outlaw dissent because they want it. I'm going to let it fix itself because at the moment 10 is, I mean, like legitimacy of 10. That's extremely low. Why is it so low? What can we change to make it better? Can't lie, can't be bothered to figure it out. So I think it might be time to go to war. We have 252 battalions and Mexico has 82. And theirs are probably much weaker than mine. Okay, so we're just at war with Mexico, so we should be pretty good to just take them out. The war is not too bad. They've got 97 battalions, we've got 253, and I've got them all mobilized. So if we give it some time, we should be able to just take them out. The war is going really well, and I've had a look online, and I can't lie, it may not be the best option for fascism. However, because I've seen on places that to get fascism you can use a presidential republic but under autocracy, and that will give you the word fascism. But to be honest, there isn't that much like documentation or anything on Victoria 3 and how to become fascist. So I'm not going to watch a 50-minute video to find out. Obviously it'd be nice to know, but I can't find anything online. So it might just have to be a dictatorial republic. Yeah, the war's going really well, and I am currently enacting outlaw dissent to see if that changes anything. Because obviously, outlaw dissent is removing free speech, and if you criticize the government, then it's considered treason and illegal. So that'll be good. Mexico have reached, I'm just going to call it zero. It's zero war support, but from now on, if you're watching a video and you hear the words, a country has reached zero or I have reached zero, it just means that well, they're winning or losing pretty much. But Mexico's reached zero, which means that until we get their capital state or everything that our war goal requires, a country will not go under zero. There you go, Mexico went under zero, probably because we got their capital. But a country won't go under zero of war support. Until when it goes under war support, it will continue going down until it gets to minus 100. And obviously, once it gets to minus 100 war support, everything sort of goes the way you want it to. And there you go. Mexico is now my protectorate. And we now have the law that will change pretty much, well, it should be everything. The elections are about to happen, and there you go. The election results are in, and there is no change. I don't get it. I don't get what am I missing? We now have access to power plants, and power plants are going to be placed across the US in every single state that actually has the people to run it. So the the places with job seekers. I'd like to build this up so that everything that can be electrical. Okay, we have our second election. I'm hoping this fixes something, because otherwise it's going to be just kind of a sad rest of the game. If I can't change anything in my laws, then what's the point, really? I now have electricity access in some of my states. I'm going to switch to electrical streetlights. Yeah, that's going to cause some problems for a short time. I also now have access to arcades, which will increase the amount of shop owners that we have and clerks, but also reduce the amount we produce in services and transport. I can also now switch my motor industries to automobile production. I don't want to do it in Kentucky. And the reason for that is because this is my main production area for motor industries. However, I would like to switch over for Pennsylvania. They have 5 motor industries, and I would love to expand it to like 8. So let's get these guys in. This will mean that we get more automobiles and less engines, which is going to be needed because we're going to switch urban centers to automobiles. You see, urban centers right now are having lots of changes, so we'll probably have some shortage issues, but we can fix them as we go along. I'm about to establish an administration in the Congo, and I'm going to read this actually. The middle one, probably. Immigration and colonial settlement. That sounds pretty decent, because then the American Congo can produce my rubber plantations for me and hopefully build up. We also now have an opportunity to switch our glassworks over to houseware plastics, and this will use our oil up. So oil is obviously one of those ones that, sadly, the majority of our oil are in places where I don't have the largest population. We have like around 500,000 to 1 million on most of them, which is actually not too bad. It could be much worse, but it's still inconvenient. Okay, so the next thing I want to research after conveyors is central planning. It's already got quite a lot of progress already, but it's so that we can get telephone switchboards. As you can see, I've got quite the deficit of bureaucracy, and I can't be bothered to build more bureaucratic admin buildings or whatever. I just want to switch a production method to telephone switchboards. And obviously I'm going to have to first build up the electrics industry. There you go, we have conveyor belts. So if we go over to like tooling industries, we can see that we're going to require a lot of electricity, oil, and all of the new sort of goods. But it does mean that we lose a lot of laborers that we can then use to mine more oil and to generate more electricity. Okay, I think it's time to reduce the autonomy of Mexico. They have a 91% chance of accepting it just outright. Nope, they did not just accept that outright. That's okay. We can go to war with them. We can mobilize up. And I just would like it for the sole reason of it looks better on the thumbnail when it's the right color. The war is going really well, but I can't lie to you. I am starting to get a little tired of this fascism game. So after this war, I think I might have to wrap it up. Right, we won the Civil War, and there you go. Not the Civil War, the Autonomy War, and there you go. Mexico is now blue, and everything's going really well. For the US of A, the fascist US of A. But the only problem is that it's either bugged or it's broken, or I'm not understanding it correctly. But I understand that the elections don't happen. But why is legitimacy so low? And why did it pick the industrialists? If you can tell me in the comments, then let me know. But I truly apologize for that, well, kind of awful episode. If you'd like to watch a much, much better one, then go check out how I made China the best democratic country in the world.